Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of From the Canopy Film Show, and I'm joined as always with my co-host. We got Cornelius, aka Evil Corny.
What's up?
What's up, man? And we're back once again to do some reviews for you guys. It's been a little bit a while, but we got a bunch of films on this list, what's currently playing. So we'll get into it. And I'm going to start off with Twisters, man. And Twisters is an action-adventure film directed by Lee Isaac Chung. I think he also did Minari. So it's kind of interesting always interesting when these Oscar contenders or winners, go from, these kind of, wildly critically acclaimed films to then jumping into the action realm, with something like this. And in this film, haunted by a devastating encounter with a tornado, Kate Cooper gets lured back to the open plains by her friend Javi to test a groundbreaking new tracking system. She soon crosses paths with Tyler Owens, a charming but reckless social media superstar who thrives on posting his storm-chasing adventures. As storm season intensifies, Kate, Tyler, and their competing teams find themselves in a fight for their lives as multiple systems converge over central Oklahoma. In this cast, we've got Glenn Powell, Daisy Edgar Jones. She plays our Kate Cooper in this film, pretty much the main character. We also get Anthony Ramos, Sasha Lane, and Tunde Adebipe, supporting characters. And I saw this one, and for the most part, it's enjoyable. It's kind of interesting, if you ask me, is it as good as the first Twisters? And I would say it probably is, because I don't hold the first Twisters in that high of a regard. I think it was a good genre film that was boosted by the cast that it had at the time. We had Bill Paxton in that, Helen Hunt. What's my man? Was that he passed away, man. William H. Macy. Bill Paxton, but also Macy was in that, I think. Not Macy. What's the bad guy from Mission Impossible 3? Oh man.
Just say
Philip Seymour Hoffman. Yeah. So
he was in with Bill Macy and Boogie Nights, by the way.
That film had everybody, man. This is one of those films that just the convergence of the cast was just crazy. Yeah. But for this film, man, I think it did a serviceable job. You get the action, which looks as good as ever now with the effects we have, today compared to back then. And I think also the original Twister was a film that kind of was playing around and boosting up, what we were doing with special effects at the time. And this is no different. But I think what is interesting here is the addition of what's his name? Glenn Powell. His character is really cool, man. It is playing on that trope where, a lot of films nowadays, we got these internet characters that are based off of internet influencers. And it's one of them things too where there's more to his character than is, revealed initially. And I think it's kind of a cool twist that they put on him and his background, to boost it up and keep me a little bit more interested, in the premise, man. But it's pretty much just like the original. It's just a different group of characters. And this character, she's trying to do research. They're trying to be able to ultimately stop a tornado, if they can, before it gets, dangerous. Because this is Tornado Alley, and the setup is this, they kind of show, I don't think this is going to spoil the movie, but in the very beginning, something happens to her team where, based on a judgment call from her team gets wiped out. She's the lone survivor. And then later on, somebody with some money, one of her friends, that was with her in that time, he comes around and like, look, I have a chance. We've got funding. Let's continue the research, And then they bump into this other character and it goes from there, man. But it's an enjoyable time, It's also one, like, if you didn't see it in the theater, you definitely get the benefit of the surround sound and all that stuff. But I don't think you have to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's doing okay. It's doing, pretty well for itself. But if you wait for home, then that'll be fine too. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you're going to miss anything.
One of the things about me and tornadoes, I was actually in a tornado once. Not a good feeling. I wasn't in a rush to go and see those ones, but I'm thinking about probably buying it when it's sell on physical media or renting it, or I can't. Well, I guess rent it on iTunes or whatever. But
yeah. You're like, the only reason,
I guess.
Yeah, because when it came out, there was nothing else out, when I saw it. And, like I said, I had a decent enough time with it. It didn't break the mold or anything as far as disaster films, but, I don't think it was terrible. Like I said, and the human, with Powell, he definitely elevated it, because Encore, she's okay, and her group of buddies are okay, but when he shows up, it just kicks this thing into a higher gear, and we're jumping into classics of cinematics territory with this next film, and this film is going to be called Peeping Tom from 1960. It is billed as a horror drama film directed by Michael Powell. In this film, loner Mark Lewis works at a film studio during the day and at night takes racy photographs of women. Also, he's making a documentary on fear, which involves recording the reactions of victims as he murders them. Wow. He befriends Helen, the daughter of the family living in the apartment below his, and he tells her vaguely about the movie he is making. She sneaks into Mark's apartment to watch it and is horrified by what she sees, especially when Mark catches her. The cast of this film is Moira Shearer, Karl-Heinz Baum, Anna Massey, and Maxine Audley. And so what do you think about this, Cornelius? This is your first time watching this?
Yeah, it was the first time watching me. I bought it during the Criterion sale. It was half off. Got the 4K version of it. I always wanted to see this film because it was kind of considered like one of the first slasher type films, and it really holds up. It's kind of like off-putting just seeing like this was filmed in 1960, and just seeing like a brightly colored, slasher film is kind of off-putting. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. They were going into like, I guess, psychological type, thriller type elements with this too. But it was a real good film, and I'm kind of glad I bought it during this Criterion sale. One of the things that Carl Hurts, Bloom's character Mark was doing is he had like a tripod of his film camera, and pretty much took one of the legs off of it where he had a knife, and that's how he was going about killing people. Just killing women, and like I said, it went into some psychological things. I guess this film is like before Psycho.
Barely. I just looked that up. So yeah, this came out in May of that year, and then Psycho came out in September.
Okay.
Same year, 1960.
Well, that's interesting. It's both films, because I've seen both. Seem like good films, but just being in color and the Technicolor that it was in, it's almost like seeing it's almost like if you were watching like Halloween, and with the color stylings of the Batman, Batman TV series. The colors are that vibrant on this for it to be like a serial killer film. And like I said, it's kind of off-putting because you got Psycho and it's in black and white. Most of these other films are their film stock kind of matches the tone of the film in a way, but just being bright and everything, it's slightly off-putting, but I really enjoyed it. Because
it's kind of like
it's kind of like it's a little bit before its time in a way.
Yeah, it looks a bit like Charade, in a way where because Charade is an interesting film. I don't think it's as heavy as this is, but there is some serious scenes going on, but it still has like a Technicolor, what I'm saying, production style.
Yeah, it's beautifully shot, and like I said, it's very colorful and everything. And it's just like I said, it's just real kind of off-put just seeing somebody murdered in Technicolor. It's just something that something I'm not used to. But this during this Criterion sale, I got this one and this, because especially because I hadn't seen it before and I always wanted to watch it because it always shows up on like horror film lists, and
Yeah, so it's just be an interesting point to see where it came from. But that's so crazy too. Like I said, that Psycho and this, are the same year, and that's really wild. And they both had such a heavy influence on that genre,
Yeah.
So my next one that I got here is going to be Longlegs, and this is a suspense thriller horror kind of film directed by Oz Perkins. In this film, FBI agent Lee Harker is assigned to an unsolved serial killer case that takes an unexpected turn, revealing evidence of the occult. Harker discovers a personal connection to the killer and must stop him before he strikes again. In this film stars Micah Monroe, got Blair Underwood, Alicia Witt, Nicolas Cage, and Kiernan Shipka pops up in here briefly. And I guess I'm gonna start with you, man. What you think of this one?
First off, just thinking about it, we just talked about Psycho.
I know, right? I didn't plan this.
It's actually Ferguson's son, which is kind of weird. I really enjoyed this film. It went in a lot of places I didn't think it was going. Well, this is one of the few films that I never didn't see. You know, I knew that it was horror. I never got around to seeing a trailer for it. So really, I don't know what the trailer on this looks like. Mm-hmm. But I really thought this was a real intense murder mystery. Nicolas Cage. Do they have a name for him?
Shit, Longlegs. Like that's what I think. Let me look up the.
He's a toy maker, a doll maker. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's his only name. Billed as Longlegs.
Okay, he is Longlegs, but he's a doll maker, and that's the only thing that and him being under heavy makeup, you know, because you hear his voice, but what it looks like doesn't look like our, you know, Nicolas Cage we know and love. Mm-hmm. But I really thought this was a real interesting horror film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't know how to really talk about this one without spoiling it, because
No, I totally understand, because that does have a lot of twists and turns that I think would benefit you checking out. The less you know about this, the better, man, because it was also a thing where I didn't watch the trailer, and you know, and also it was a thing, the hype that people were putting into it, the scariest thing I've seen ever in years or whatever, you know. But it's a mixed bag for me, man. Like, I definitely love, you know, that this, you know, takes place. It's kind of got a period film vibe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're also, it's like there's no cell phones or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? It's more just like, you know, stuck in that era, and it feels like it. You know, the cars, you know, the dress, the look of everything. Like, the aesthetics are there, man. This definitely feels like it could be a story that's also happening in the world of Silence of the Lambs, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. You know, definitely has that. You gotta get vibes of Silence of the Lambs from this, because the main character is an FBI agent. I'm just realizing that her mother, Ruth Harker, was played by Alicia Witt. Mm-hmm. I didn't recognize Alicia Witt, you know. Yes. She's one of those actors that you see her in 3 different films. She's gonna have like 3 different looks. And then the last thing I remember seeing her in was when she had that guest spot on Walking Dead, and she looks completely different. You know, she looks completely different than she does in here. So yeah, man. But I think for me, what doesn't work so well for me is probably the later half of the film, man. Because like there's some cool stuff in here, man. I love Blair Underwood in this, man, as like the senior guy that brings in, you know, our other character to look at this case that they can't crack. And he's cool, man. He's solid. Most of the performances are solid, but it gets a little weird, I think, you know, toward when things start unraveling. I think there's some inconsistencies. Like it's a film. It reminds me of so many other films, you know, in this genre, but I also think that so many of those films are just much better films, man. It's drawing from all these spots, and I think it fails to really pull together a solid identity for itself. And we get that, you know, we of course we get the scene where we meet, you know, Cage, and even that just came across as a little weird. I feel like
it wasn't a little weird about that.
It hit her in a way that kind of, I think it took me out, because I saw this theater was packed, man, for a Thursday night showing of a film that no one had seen. I think, did I see this Thursday night? I think it was Thursday night, and we're all like, and I think the internet stuff worked, man. Whatever this marketing team did, folks need to hire them, because that thing was a lot of people in there for something like this, you know, that's kind of not a mainstream kind of, you know, R-rated, you know, promising this gore and stuff. But like, there's a point where Cage is doing this thing, and it's like, and then later on after that, it was unintentional laughter, man. I know this film was not trying to get this laugh out of us. And it's just like, it was kind of one of those eye rolling laughters that me and several other people in the audience let out. I was like, damn. And then I feel like I checked out the last 20 minutes, man, because it took a turn where I was like, all right, man, I know where this is going. And I just felt like, you know, everything else is great in this. The performances, the aesthetics, like he's definitely a potent director, Perkins, but he didn't stick the landing for me, man. You know what I'm saying? And there is some really wild, outrageous stuff. Like I feel like he settled for the shock value, you know, toward the end rather than, you know, nailing that story. You know, that there's like a sacrifice at the very end, man. But I do encourage folks to check it out, man, because it's definitely visually and like one of the craziest things I've seen this year, man. There's some turns that do get a little wild, you know. Like in the end, I didn't love it, but I definitely appreciate the guy for trying to make something, you know. And what he did here, it almost worked for me, man. It almost, you know what I'm saying? It was right there. It was right there.
I will tell you this, Corey. I intend on buying this one and rewatching it because it's some things to where people told me later on that I missed. And you look online, it's some items like Easter eggs or whatever that happened in this film to where I gotta go back and rewatch it. But overall, the tone of this film was just real dark. I can't think of a darker film that I've seen. You know what I'm saying? In the last couple years. Yeah,
it was dark, man. But here's my thing though, too. Like, you know, it talks about the occult. You know what I'm saying in this thing, but like, I don't want to spoil this, man. So I'm gonna keep this simple. What I love about Silence of the Lambs, it still relied on, and True Detective. You know, as crazy as those stories get, they still rely on straight up detective work, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And there's a point where this thing kind of introduces some things that I don't think it earned that. You know, I feel like if you're going to do that, you got to set that stuff up, you know, from the beginning, you know. And I think later on, the way it's introduced, it threw me for the loop, man. And that's what made me kind of back off from it, you know, toward the end.
Well, I'll put it like this. We found out something about the main character in the beginning of the film that should have paid off before it got to a certain point.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you learn something about her. Later on, you kind of shouldn't have. Some stuff should have happened a little bit different. You know?
Yeah. It's almost like I don't know if we still got a Carrie Fisher that be doctoring scripts out here, man. But I feel like some of these films lately, they need another pass through to get to help them get to that destination and you know, that vision.
I don't agree with you, but at the same time, it's some stuff that I think I missed in this film, and I really want to, you know.
Yeah, but it makes me wonder. I need Blair Underwood and more shit like this. You know, let him. You know. Yeah, I mean, he's mostly a TV guy though, you know. But you know, but it was cool to see him chewing up the scenery in this. And the final one, I forgot this little movie. You might have heard about it.
Hey, Corey, I got one for you. I kind of wonder why Blair Underwood wasn't considered to be like Rhodey in Iron Man.
They could have, man. He could have, but I don't. That's kind of interesting, man. Let me see. Maybe I don't know. Maybe because Blair Underwood. Yeah, but they're the same age now that I'm looking at this.
Yeah,
Cheadle might be older. Nah, him and Don Cheadle, 59.
Yeah,
that could have been crazy.
Yeah, that would have been a better. He might would have been a better Rhodey than.
But I bet Underwood was probably had a job then. He was probably on some shit like something on NBC at 10 o'clock on Thursday night. So let me see. All right, let's get into this next one, man. This little film you might have heard about. It's the #1 film in the country right now, Deadpool and Wolverine. This is an action-adventure film directed by Sean Levy. Deadpool's peaceful existence comes crashing down when the Time Variance Authority recruits him to help safeguard the multiverse. He soon unites with his would-be pal, Wolverine, to complete the mission and save his world from an existential threat. Casting this, we got Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, Emma Corrin, Morena Baccarin, and Daphne Keane. And yeah, this is a good time, man, for the most part, dude. It's crazy to me. Like, I think the best way to watch this is in a crowded theater, man. You know, some movies I like to enjoy by myself, but I think this experience definitely benefits from a packed theater that's hooping and hollering, laughing and cheering, because all of that happened when I watched this thing. And this story it's I think I was telling you earlier, I don't think it's super consequential to the greater picture, but for this feels kind of like they might draw some shit from this in the future, but it feels like a standalone Wolverine and Deadpool team up. You know, you buy this and they just throwing everything in the Marvel kitchen sink at it, and our characters are getting to work. But other than that, man, like the action was there, man. It's just fun, man. They give you, there's a lot of fan service too, man. You know, I don't want to spoil the extra cameos and all this extra stuff, but if you've ever just wondered out loud, it's probably in this movie, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a fun time, man. Like, they put a lot of love and care into this, man. And things that I might have thought about and forgot about, they just circle back around and bring it in, man. They definitely cared about this. And it's just a good time, man. Like, it's hard for me to talk without, jumping out into that. So I'm gonna pass this over to Cornelius, man, and find out what you thought about this.
Oh, I loved it. I actually saw it twice on Friday. One of my nephews has a summer job, and I promised to take him to see it. I didn't take my young nephew, but I did see it at 10 o'clock in 3D by myself. Had a lot of fun watching this. Mm-hmm. Don't want to spoil anything, just pretty much like Corey said, but there's a lot of stuff I just popped for in this. I think that it is, you did leave something out, Corey. It is kind of something that was told to us in this film, that it's a reason why this happened, or he has a higher purpose a little bit later on in the MCU. That's the only thing I will spoil. But I just want to see how all this plays out. And a lot of people have been down on Marvel and everything, and I'm just glad that they had something that just hit hard, for change.
I think this serves as a bridge in a way to getting Deadpool and possibly some other characters into the regular MCU timeline. Timeline. Hugh Jackman, it's just cool to see him jump back into this character. Didn't miss a beat really. He looks a little bit older in the face, but I thought that was cool, man. It's almost like we got like an alternate take on Logan, a redemption arc for him. Like, even though Logan was his redemption story, it's like an alternate version of that in a way. Like this is like a version, but tying Deadpool into it, because interestingly enough, they do team up a lot of times in the comics, man. They team up a lot over the years, so it's kind of cool seeing that on the screen, and you just imagine the wackiness of it. It's there, it translates,
But I will say, this is my favorite version of Hugh Jackman doing Wolverine. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad for a change that they didn't apologize for him having that yellow costume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it looked good on screen. I remember Bryan Singer saying years ago that yellow doesn't really translate on screen well. And I was saying to myself, what in the hell were you watching?
Yeah. Imagine if he got to lead the going into the MCU, you probably would have had Captain America in like a black suit. And all those other characters. If they gave him the Russo brothers job and he just got to dictate how all those characters came out. Yeah, man. It's a different time, man. Like you're doing comic books, man. We know where this stuff comes from.
Don't apologize for stuff being in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The yellow costume looked great on on Hugh Jackman. Man.
Yeah, the only I don't know, man. It's probably just a me thing, though, man. Like I've enjoyed the Deadpool films, man. But watching it again today was a different experience, man. Because I went in there and I was like, damn, I hope people are gonna be. It was me and like two other dudes. So it was just kind of like, damn, I didn't get that. I didn't have a laugh track, you know what I'm saying, with the crowd. And one of the things about Deadpool, or at least Ronald Reynolds' characterization of this, it's wild to me, yo. It's like a rhythm thing, man. And they go the way his character is, the blabbering, the constant. It's like a quip a minute, and like it grates on me after a while, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the first wave through, I was like, all right, this is great. You know, but then the second wave through, I was like, bro, he really just throwing shit out there and see what sticks to the wall. And every now and then one will hit through. Like I love that fucking smasturbation. I was like, yo, that's some clever shit. But it gets crazy, man, to the point where like I own all the previous Deadpool movies, and like I said, I overall I would say I enjoy them, but a lot of time has to pass before I could go back and throw them back on, man. Like I've probably seen part 1 and 2 maybe a total of 2 or 3 times each. You know what I'm saying? Compared to like Winter Soldier, I've seen that shit like 20 times, and partly is because of Deadpool's mouth, man. And I get it. That's how he is in the comics. But reading a comic book that's 28 pages, that might take you about 25 minutes at the most. But being in this for 2 hours, it gets a lot sometimes, man. But fortunately,
one thing about it though, Corey, the action in this one was like way better.
So fortunately, we do have the other characters that kind of break him up. Of course, Logan's there, but I'll tell you who stole a lot of scenery from me too. Emma Corrin, bro. Like her character, that was crazy, man. She was taking over, man. You know what I'm saying? At certain moments, I was like, yo, this is a really good, you know, kind of antagonist character, man, to have, you know, thrown into this mix, you know, with these guys, man. It's like, yeah, these guys are tough and bad, but she was kind of bad on some like psychotic, just meanness, that was just really fun, you know, to watch, you know, in this world, man, you know. Yeah, but overall, man, I had a good time, man. Go see this. It's the best thing in the movies right now. You know, like I even like what we did. Like this, you know what this feels like? You know, it feels like kind of a acknowledgement of the Fox period, but also kind of a send off to them. Like you know what I'm saying? In a way, you know. So I think that was cool to do this, you know. Okay, especially after the Hall H announcements that we got this past weekend.
You know, it's mind blowing stuff that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, crazy. Boom, still there? Like you froze, man.
I'm just glad that they didn't go the route that when they had like a couple films that didn't do as well. People said it didn't do as well. They didn't do anything like DC, and you know, just try to overly course correct and damage something.
Oh no, they're done, man. Like I think they've got wiggle room, you know, and you know now, but I don't think we're going to change like the really big stuff that they got into effect. Nah, man, dude. And honestly, I knew this film was going to be a hit. Like, I just knew just because the previous two, and they both got bigger and bigger. Part 1 to part 2, bigger turnout. So this definitely is probably going to be a $1 billion film that's R-rated, which is rare these days. You know, but I'm pretty sure you can add this to the list, you know, by a couple weeks or the end of the month. But yeah, man, let's get into that though. So we got some interesting announcements from Hall H this weekend. I thought was kind of crazy. I don't get all the details, but you know, a lot of this stuff we already knew. But it looks like there's been a course correction, mainly concerning the character Kang. They've announced that they're going to go with Doom instead of Kane, you know, for these next films. And it's kind of interesting. I think Rod from the Black Guy Tips suggested this like really early once the Jonathan Major stuff happened. And honestly, I was agreeing with him at the time because I just didn't see it, man. I didn't like Ant-Man 3 as much. And from what I saw of the Kang that we got on the screen, I was like, all right, this guy's cool, but he didn't seem like event level bad guy, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you could possibly build him up to that, but what we got in the previous films, I was like, man, like when we first seen Thanos, we knew it was on.
The thing is, I think some of the Kang stuff is going to be delayed a little bit, you know, because they still messing with multiverse and that character isn't really gone. So, and Feige is not one of these people that's just going to let a story arc just go completely away, but I'm really wondering how they're going to pull the Doom thing off. Yeah, they're saying that, you know, Robert Downey Jr. is back for this universe. hopefully they do Doom correctly and just have him man behind a mask, because
I would love that, man. I would love that instead of the Stark variant who becomes Doom.
I heard some people saying that, and I just that
I mean, it could work. It could work, but I want to see real Doom, dude. Yeah, and it's interesting. Yeah. It's also interesting because, I mean, I don't care that we've got the same actor playing the same character. We've seen that a few times in this, stuff. So I'm not stuck to that like some people are. But it's interesting though, because Fantastic Four is going to be a period film. Like, I think it starts in the 60s or something like that.
It's supposed to be. According to me, it's supposed to be in another universe, kind of like in the multiverse, but their technology is almost like retro 60s.
Okay.
Yeah. And Doom is from that world. One of the things about like how Doom was always was first introduced in the comics, you kind of saw it from the shadows. You never really saw his face. So and then he's in that accident. He's an accident because he didn't listen to Reed Richards on some calculations, and something blew up in his face. So we really don't need to see that character's face at all. But it would just be cool just to have him Robert Downey Jr., in a mask, doing some weird accent. He could be, he really, you almost have to build, because Robert Downey Jr., I don't think he's Doom's height in the comics, in that armor. So, Doom is intimidating, like,
intimidating character, man. Like, intellectually and phically, and
and this is a character that he's the smartest Reed Richards. He's a sorcerer, like Doctor Strange. He's been Sorcerer Supreme before, and also he's just he's a ruler of a country, just like the Black Panther is. And he's a strategist, probably a strategist, almost like Captain America. He is something to deal with.
Yeah, definitely, man. So I think that's it though for the year, though. We don't got no
shows are back directing these two films, and I can't wait to see what
that's
they do.
Crazy. That's crazy, and they're going big, dude. But it's interesting. I think that's it for the year, though. We don't get no more Marvel, if I'm correct. Damn, we done. No TV shows. No, like, do we get like a day?
I don't know. They supposed to be doing that D23 in the next couple of weeks, and we might get
a surprise announcement. Yeah. We might get a surprise drop for something. But yeah, damn. So that, I guess the next up will probably be Thunderbolts, maybe.
It's Captain America. In February. Yeah, Thunderbolts like in May, and then Fantastic Four next July.
Yeah, they did announce that for the 2025. I think also we getting I think Shang-Chi too might be going into production soon, man.
Yeah, that, and also Blade. I'm still waiting on news on
They still waiting on the script, I think. Yeah. But I don't think, man, people are worried, but I don't think they're gonna fumble Blade, man. They just want to take the time to get things right, Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that's it, man. So, yeah, D23. When is that? That's like,
I don't know. It's
Disney's.
It's sometime in August.
23. Yeah. So we usually, what's interesting though that I did, August 9th through. So that's next week. Okay. But what's interesting though, just with this current announcement, because this is all San Diego Comic-Con stuff, but it's weird because if you go like to last year's announcements, a couple things would change around compared to now to then, and I don't mind that, dude. Like, people get in their way sometimes when things are announced and things change, but to me that sounds like this stuff isn't so set in stone, and they're willing to adapt and change based on how things are being received and what they need to do to keep this stuff on track and successful, man. So I'm hyped for that. But man, I'll talk to this after we're done. I'll mention that one after we get off of here. There was something in this movie that was kind of interesting. All right, but yeah, man, I'm hopeful, man. I'm optimistic for this. We also did.
One of the things I did read before we got started today, James Gunn has wrapped up filming.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, Superman is done. But also, we've also got the the one animated series that's about to premiere soon. I think that might be August. This month. Let me see.
Is August or called? December?
Let me see real quick.
Creature Commandos.
Yeah, Creature Commandos. I think that's it. Boom. Yeah, I think they put out a trailer for that or something recently. Boom. Let me see if I get a date for that. I don't know anything about those guys. Creature Commandos.
I just know Rick Flag's father is like the team leader on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're right. December. That's what they're saying. Right. There's no concrete date, but it is saying it's scheduled to premiere in December. I don't know anything about those characters, but I'm hyped just to see what Gunn's got cooking in this world. Because I think what he said is there's going to be a cohesion between his animated stuff and his live action stuff and any TV series stuff. So they're trying to make a connected world, for this next run with them, which I'm excited for. Superman's done. I'm excited for that. So yeah, we got big hitters then. We get Superman in 2025. Hey, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. But I think that's it for us, man. We're going to get out of here. Go see some movies. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like it, tell your friends about us. And we'll be back soon, man. We got some more movies coming for you. Trap is out, so we'll probably have that on the next show, as well as some other things. Yeah.
My name is Cornelius Bros. You can find me on Facebook, Cornelius Bros, on Instagram, Cornelius Bros, on Twitter, not X, at Cornelius 1976, and on TikTok, where I'll be watching videos at Cornelius 1976.
Yeah, catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram.